JDs and gentlemen and everyone in between. I am here to speak to you about the Richmond Tigers game. Every round I do a Richmond recap, and this time it's our round 20 game against Collingwood. I did not go to this game because I was interstate, but I did watch the game, and it was frustrating. I think immediately from that first quarter, I knew we were done. Dacos had like 17 odd touches. He was running ragged. We had no answers for him. And I think, to be honest, that's just Adam Uze being a little bit tactically inept and not up to the standard. And I don't criticise Adam Uze a lot. In the second half, he did put Seth Campbell on Dacos. But for me, that was the story of the night, is Collingwood came out firing in that first quarter, and it just didn't look like he had any answers on the fly. And their coach, Fly, coincidentally, was just better on the night. And I feel like when I watch Richmond now, if we aren't leading if we're down in the first quarter, what were we down by? Around 20 odd points. As soon as that first quarter happened, it doesn't matter what team we're playing. When we're down by 20, I automatically think, nah, we just can't come back. Because the reality is, our worst attribute is our scoring power. We've been throwing some nuggets in around. I'll talk about this guy a little bit, Tom Brown, who kicked 3 goals. He was really exciting. He's a defender, so he's very good at body work. And I think even though he kicked 3 goals, next year I want to see him in the back line, nurtured by Noah Bolter. I want to see Bolter, Tom Brown, Young, Gibkiss. Imagine a back line of those 4 fully fit. It's exciting. So the point I was making is our strength is in our defence. And in recent weeks, our strength's been our midfield. Taranto did have a back problem, so he didn't play well and got subbed out. But in the last 3-4 weeks, our strength has been midfield and defence, generally speaking. Never has been the forward line. So as soon as we go down by 20 points at quarter time, it's done, because I honestly don't think we had the scoring power to make it up. Now, we did kick 9 goals 13 to their 14 goals 9. So we did kick a lot of points, and I thought we did impress, but the reality is it wasn't good enough. Now, let's talk a little bit about what happened throughout the game. Any big talking points? I think the best talking point for Richmond is we're just seeing some of these young players come to fruition. I've realised I've been mispronouncing James Trezise. I call him Trezise. We're going to call him Trez, because Trezise or Trezise. Oh, fucking hell. Our young players looked pretty exciting. I was pretty impressed with them. And it's the first time for a long time that I've watched my club and I've had to rely on youth to find excitement. And I thought we did look pretty exciting in that game. And I was pretty impressed with some of the young players, that we had. Even though the good players were still the experienced ones, the Riolis. I thought Bolton had energy in the second half. Nathan Broad was outstanding. He took about 100 marks, and he kept that scoreline not too bad. Even though those players were the good ones, I was still really excited and impressed by the young players. And we'll talk about a couple of them really quick. Yeah, Nathan Broad, 15 marks, outstanding football, 27 disposals as well. He was our best player. Nick Vossen was pretty good as well. Once again, it's the likes of Prestia, Short, those types. We chucked Camden McIntosh up forward, which I thought was a cool, interesting change. Samson Ryan, I have still lots of question marks about him. 13 hit-outs to Darcy Cameron's 33. The same amount of hit-outs for Samson Ryan as Mason Cox, 13. So there's still lots of question marks about him. To be honest with you, I'm not seeing the progression. He's someone that I wish I did, but we're not seeing it as of yet. But it's some of the other names I thought that really impressed me. Sam Banks, I thought had good moments. Got a goal. He looked good. James Trezise, thought he looked good as well. I thought, like I said, Tom Brown's looking really impressive. He's showing energy, character, footy IQ, smarts. Seth Campbell, the tagging job he did on Nick Dacos was actually really impressive. And even though Dacos still got like 40 odd touches, I thought that second half, Campbell was a good reason why he didn't get 100 touches. So I was impressed with him as well. Caleb Smith, impressed with Steely Green, did struggle. He had a really, really, really quiet first half, but he did pick up in that second half, as did some of our teammates. That's like, I'm impressed with them. But the reality is these blokes are all Dacos's age pretty much, around there. And none of them are showing Dacos threats. So it's kind of a hard one. Like, I'm impressed with them. But if I look at these young players in the VFL as well, do I look at these young players and do I see blokes who are going to be, top 20 in the Brownlow in the next 10 years? You know what I mean? Like a good midfielder or top 10 at the Coleman. I'm not so sure. I've seen bits and pieces and spurts, but the reality is until we get a good core around them, a good experienced group of players who can nurture them and sort of let them flourish, it's never going to be their fault. And they're in a shocking system right now, which has no leadership, and that's why they're not really flourishing as much. We're going to talk about some of the team stats that we always do to see how the team performs statistically. We all know disposal-wise we would have been shocking because Dacos basically killed us. But despite that, and I can't believe I'm saying this, we actually won the disposal count by 14. And that's the first time I think in a long time we've won the disposal count. More kicks, more handballs. And this is the big one for me. We had more inside 50s, 51 to 52. Like, the underlying numbers have been good for Richmond. And if you're looking at the scoreboard and ignoring everything, you would think Richmond the last month have been awful. But the underlying numbers have been really good. We just can't finish our dinner. I think Shea Bolton was a big reason. I think he got 3 points or something. So he was actually poor in that sense. We had a better disposal efficiency. We had more free kicks. So a lot of these things are going our way. Hit-outs, we got killed, 46 to 18. And then it's the midfield battle, the inside midfield battle. They won clearances by 10, 39 to our 29. And that includes more centre clearances and stoppage clearances. And then contested possession, they only did beat us by 12, 128 to 116. But 12 for me, it's not a substantial number. It's not enough to stop us from winning the game. They had more turnovers, which is a positive for us. We had more marks. We had less marks inside 50, which is a problem. Hitting the target, the fluidness between midfield to forward line. And they had more tackles. We've been really struggling with our tackle count in recent weeks. They had 55 to our 34, so they beat our tackle count by 21. And that's pretty much it. They're all the important stats. So, like I said, statistically, we've got things to be happy about. Next week, I believe... Who are we playing next week? I feel like are we playing St Kilda? No, we're playing North Melbourne at Marvel next week. We're not good at Marvel. North have been in good form as well, despite the results. I'm not expecting to win. I'm expecting to beat Gold Coast and St Kilda. Being very positive, but it'll be interesting to see how we play against a team equal with us on the ladder, sorry. Thanks for watching, and we'll be seeing you next week when Richmond hopefully get the job done against North.